Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my twin flame story. Week by week, this is episode 35 of my twin flame story. And today we're going to talk about my upcoming book. Yay! And a book that was republished by me, which I will talk about in the first part of this video, as well as my upcoming book that's being released on October 15th. And in the second half of this video, we are going to talk about your life purpose being a twin flame, and can you do it without your twin flame? So that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're interested, please do stay tuned. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications, and thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I do tarot readings, 30, 60, and 90-minute tarot readings. Twin flame, romance, life, path, and purpose. You can book that at my website, michellefondinauthor.com. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm here with Grogu, my Padawan, right here. I'm here with my Grogu tumbler, and it's filled with caramel nut dandelion caramel nut tea. I actually took a packet today to show you guys. It's this Ticino dandelion caramel nut tea. I love this tea. It like replaces coffee in the middle of the day when you don't really want to be drinking coffee, but I'm gonna take a sip here. Super hot, super, super, super good. It's not too sweet, but it's sweet enough. You do not have to add sweetener. You don't have to add creamer. It's crazy good. I love this tea. I'll be drinking that throughout the video and then after the video as well. So what do I want to talk about here? My upcoming book. And I don't have a book to demonstrate because I ordered author copies, but it's going to take some time. And that's the problem with publishing on Amazon. There are many upsides. The downside is an author copy, meaning the copies that you can order almost like at wholesale as an author, they take 10 business days to be delivered. I think sent or delivered, I'm not sure, but it's a lot of days, guys. It's a lot of days. It makes you wonder with Amazon Prime and overnight shipping, why it takes so gosh darn long. But for the hardcover of my book, and I haven't even mentioned the title yet, have I? It's The Empowered Divine Feminine, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman in the 21st Century and Beyond. For the hardcover, I haven't yet been able to order the copies because I know many of you did pre-orders for the hardcover. And for some reason, Amazon blocked it once I submitted everything and everything was approved. And I have the pending date to be released on October 15th of 2023. Amazon locked my end of things. So I was able to order the paperbacks, but I wasn't able to order the hardcover. And I asked, and they said that link should be coming up shortly, but it hasn't come up yet. So you can still order an author-signed hardcover copy of The Empowered Divine Feminine from me if you live in the United States, because shipping is very expensive abroad. But I will put the link in the info box because you'll have until the 15th at least to be able to order those, because I'm not going to be able to order those until the 15th. Just the hardcover paperback I've already ordered. There you go. But I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of what The Empowered Divine Feminine is about and why I wrote that book. And then I will talk to you about my very, very, very first published book that I first self-published way back in 2014. And it's got a history, guys. It's got a story. I'm going to talk about that story. So here we go. The Empowered Divine Feminine is a book for women. It's a book about modern day feminism based on the collective as a whole moving into divine feminine energy. So we have been in yang or masculine energy this entire time for as long as recorded history has been around. And now the scales are tipping to the feminine, but not only the feminine, divine feminine. And I talk about that is about. I talk about the difference between the regular feminine and the divine feminine. I talk about the patriarchy and the masculine. I talk about ways that you can get to your road to empowerment. This book took me a year to write, and I'm so proud of this work. I put more effort into this book than any other book, believe it or not, because my book, Enlightened Medicine, is such a complex book based on so much research. But this book was different. This book was for you as divine feminines. This book, I poured my heart and soul into it because of all of the women that I've coached since 2019. And even before that, before the twin flame era in my life, I was coaching women since 2008. So this book means so much to me, and I hope it'll mean something to you as well. It will be available on Audible, hopefully about a week after the book release, because Audible takes some time to go through those audio files. Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. Really excited. Please support this work. I really appreciate you for supporting this. And I really want to get the message out to as many women as possible. You don't have to be a twin flame to appreciate this book at all. In fact, I explain why we're moving into the age of the divine feminine and how it affects women worldwide, and it will affect men worldwide. So let's shift gears, shift gears into the book that I self-published in 2014. Okay, so the book that I first published in 2014 was called The Wheel of Healing. And back in 2014, and this is the original book called The Wheel of Healing, an easy guide to an Ayurvedic lifestyle. And I self-published this in 2014 through Amazon. At that time, it was called Amazon Create Space. And I got to look at the publication date because I'm not quite sure what the publication date is. It just says 2014 here. I'm sure online somewhere you can find the exact publication date. I believe it was like April, somewhere around April 13th of 2014. Now, I had some amazing fortune, great fortune, in fact, because 6 weeks later, by many serendipitous events, and I will go into detail in another video on that, but many serendipitous events, I was able to get a publishing contract with New World Library 6 weeks later. And in 2015, they republished it under the name The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda, an easy guide to a healthy lifestyle. And this book has been under the publishing house of New World Library since that date, since about May, I think on Amazon it says May 12th of 2015. So what is this book about? This book is about holistic healing through the system called Ayurveda. It's on mind-body health, how you can regain health in your physical body, how you can regain balance in all the areas of your life. So this is a very practical guide to becoming healthy through alternative means. Not to diss Western medicine, I do talk about that in the book, but it's about holistically healing your body. So what happened is that through my publisher, it was published in, I believe this is Italian. I don't speak Italian. In Spanish, in Mandarin Chinese, in Portuguese. I think this is Portuguese, is it? I don't know. This is either Portuguese or Italian. I don't know. One of these. This might be Portuguese. This might be Italian. I don't know. I don't speak either of those languages. But The Wheel of Healing was then published in many different languages. I think there was one more. I can't remember. I think it was published in Dutch, actually. But many languages. So it was an amazing time with this publisher, but most recently the book has not sold very well. So they reverted the rights back to me. And so now I have republished the title under this title, The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda. This is under my name now, and it's not Create Space anymore. It just says independently published. This is a fantastic book, and I know this because I practiced Ayurveda as an Ayurvedic practitioner since 2008. I studied with the best. I studied with Dr. Deepak Chopra, Dr. Vasant Lad, many others who were absolutely incredible. And they were my teachers, Dr. David Simon, for example. So I learned from the best, but I also practiced this with many clients throughout the years. And each time a client came to me, they wanted to heal themselves holistically through Ayurveda. They're like, where's an easy book? Where's an easy book? I need something easy to read. And there wasn't any at that time. Now there are many, but in 2014, I was one of the first ones to publish a very easy guide to Ayurveda. So if you are suffering in physical ailments, then please do pick up a copy. It will support me. It will support the channel. It will support the book, really. So if you have not yet read The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda, I also have a companion workbook. And I have an 8 CD set, yes, CDs, that go along with the secrets of the Wheel of Healing. So anyway, I want to just announce those 2 announcements on my passion and purpose. Something that I totally believe in is writing my books. It is what my calling is here on earth, is to write books, to inspire others through my writing. I've always been a writer for as long as I can remember. I was so fortunate to have my wish come true, my dream come true in 2014. And then again in 2015, when New World Library picked up my book. And it was just very validating for me at the time because, I knew I was a writer. I knew I was pretty good at writing, but when you don't have any external validation, sometimes it's hard to think of yourself as being good in a vacuum, right? So that is my news. I am super excited, and I'm very stoked for the Empowered Divine Feminine to come out on the 15th. I'm sitting at the edge of my seat. I'm so happy to get this book in my hot little hands and show it to you guys, because it has come through 4.5 years of coaching women and hearing your stories and understanding the problems that you face, not only being a twin flame, but also on a spiritual awakening and by being a woman in general in society today. That book is so close to my heart. I never thought I was going to write a book about feminism or women or anything like that. As you know, many of my books until now have been about relationships and about personal health. So while this is also about personal health and well-being on a level, because empowerment comes from yourself and your higher source, but this is really more about a perspective of yourself as a woman in society. So super excited. Thank you for your support. And thank you for leaving reviews for all of these books, because that's something I almost never ask for is I need reviews. The book needs reviews on Amazon. That is really how this all works. The algorithms, the AI, the search terms, right? It's based on how well the book is ranked and how well the book is reviewed. So that all helps. Had to take another sip of my beautiful tea here. So good. That helps me shift gears actually to, is it really possible to be able to live your spiritual life purpose as a twin flame without your divine masculine twin flame? And for many, I know I've addressed this topic. By the way, I just had to preface this by saying, I know I've already addressed this topic in other videos, but because of my new book that is now coming out, and during the time that I was finishing the book at the end of August of this year in 2023, many of you know I took a trip to Massachusetts, to Western Massachusetts, to a yoga retreat center called Kripalu. And I put myself in this ashram. It's not really an ashram, but it used to be an ashram, and it's still very much like an ashram. So I call it an ashram. But I put myself for a week in this yoga retreat center, being in silence most of the week. Not by choice, it just kind of happened that way. I mean, some of it you had to be silent for, but For the most part, I didn't know anybody there. A lot of people were part of workshops. We had to have breakfast in silence, some other meals in silence. So it was just a silent retreat for me. But I took a ton of time to first finish writing my book. Second, to do a lot of soul searching as to what do I enjoy doing the most out of my profession and my soul's purpose. And what I prefer to be doing is writing books. Like, that is my soul path, soul purpose. There are other aspects to that, right? We are not just one-sided as human beings. We are holistic as human beings. There are many sides of us, but writing books, publishing books is really at the top of my list, the top of my list. And I just really had to get clear on those priorities in my life so I could help you guys and help others in the world. And that really brought me to this question in my mind that I had had in my mind for the past several years, but most importantly, in the first 3 years of my twin flame journey. And that is, can I really continue this spiritual work, doing it in the world, right? As a life path and purpose, as a career, without my divine masculine twin flame? And this question was really at the forefront of everything for me, notably because what I talked about for the most part were twin flames. So I kind of felt that it was really one-sided here and going like, man, I just don't feel right. Like, I'm talking about twin flames. I'm talking about the relationship. I'm writing books about it. I'm talking about divine masculine, divine feminine, the union of the couple. And here I am, and my twin flame is not in my life. Does this feel right? And I know so many of you out there that are in the midst of your twin flame journey that you probably haven't been through everything you're needing to go through, and you might still be in different stages of your twin flame journey. And I'll put the stages up here. Actually, I have a stages video about the 8 stages. And so you may like be in the midst of it. You're like in the middle of it. And there is a lot of misinformation out there on YouTube about, oh, you can't really complete your soul's work, your soul's purpose without your twin flame being in your life physically. And you have to do things together, and you have to move through this life together, through your path and purpose together. And there's no way you can do your soul's homework as a career, as inspirational beings, inspiring others, if you're not with your twin flame. And I would say, I am testimony that that is a load of crap. It's a load of malarkey. Because here I am, as someone who speaks about twin flames, someone who reads for the collective, someone who has published 3 books now on the topic of twin flames, even though the Empowered Divine Feminine is not about twin flames, it is about the divine feminine. So I've published now 3 books on twin flames, and I have done that largely without my twin flame. So I am living proof that you can inspire and help and grow and be a bright light in the world for others if you're not physically with your twin flame. And I have a theory about that. So here's my theory. My theory is your twin flame's higher spiritual self is with you always, all the time. And your higher spiritual self is with your twin flame's physical self always. So because of this, your twin flame is always with you. You are always with your twin flame. You're always looking out for them. They are always looking out for you. You guys are so integrated with each other, even if on the physical level, you're not together. You're so incredibly integrated with one another that it doesn't matter if you are not physically together. You can still do your soul's path and purpose, your spiritual work without them because they're still with you. So it doesn't mean that their physical face has to be there or their physical body has to be there, because spiritually they're with you. Their soul is always with you. Now, I explain in my book, Twin Flame Union, 7 Keys to a Healthy Twin Flame Journey, that I had a soul integration experience. I also talk about it in the 7th key video, which I will post here as well, the 7th key to a twin flame union, which is the key to integration. I talk about having 2 different occasions of having a soul integration with my twin flame. I won't explain it now. I've explained it in other videos, but all the more having experienced a soul integration with my twin flame, that means even more that it really does not matter if my twin flame is here with me physically, in the 3D, in persona, whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter because I can still live out the homework, the life path and purpose, the soul's mission and purpose. Anyway, I can still do it. And I can do it very effectively and very successfully. And it just doesn't matter. So if you're sitting there wallowing in self-pity and going, oh, I really want to do this. Like, I want to do my spiritual work. I want to advance and I want to help the world and I want to live my life's path and purpose. And I really feel my soul is calling me to do this with my twin flame. My answer to you is start doing it now. Start doing it now before your twin flame is physically with you, because you can still do it. Just ask your divine masculine twin flame's soul, spirit, higher self for help. And you can absolutely positively do that because your twin flame's higher self is there to help you. They really are. I can confirm this. I've had conversations with my twin flame's higher self, and my twin flame's higher self is very loving and kind and wants the best for me in all cases, because the higher self is divine light and love. The higher self is unconditional love. The higher self does not have conditions, and the higher self wants what is best for you. I've even asked, honestly, guys, I've even asked my twin flame's higher self to help bring in a soulmate connection for me if my twin flame is not going to be ready. And my twin flame's higher self has already confirmed that that is in the works. So I'm not even worried about that because I know my twin flame's higher self is there with me, willing to help me, willing to serve, and willing to make sure that I am giving the message that I need to give to others whenever and however it happens. But again, I really felt this the most with the empowered divine feminine. That's when I felt it the most. And maybe it had to happen uniquely this way, because perhaps if I had been physically with my twin flame divine masculine, maybe, just maybe, the book The Empowered Divine Feminine would not have been written, because maybe I would have written another relationship book. So maybe that's the direction in which I would have gone, when in reality, I really needed to write The Empowered Divine Feminine, and that was the direction that I needed to go into. And so who knows, right? Who knows? We don't know. We don't know the exact reasons, but I am very grateful for the opportunity to have written this book. I'm so proud of this book. I really, like as I mentioned, I put everything into this book. And every day that I would be sitting in a session writing this book, I would always ask, what is the message for the women that I serve? What is the message for the women that I serve? And that was the perspective, that was the place from which I wrote the book, was if I were sitting in your shoes, if I were sitting in your home, if I were sitting in your car, what would I as a divine feminine want to hear? What information would be the most helpful to me as a divine feminine? And that is how I wrote this book. And so living my life path and purpose without my twin flame is just fine for now, right? It's absolutely fine for now. So that is my twin flame update. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and joining me and supporting my work and being on this channel, leaving comments for other women that are positive, uplifting, and filled with love, because we really need to be a more loving community just in general. We really need to be more supportive of one another from a genuine perspective, not enabling others' crap, but loving others through what we have to show, to give, to appreciate in our own lives. So I want to thank you guys so much. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.